asked the two most advanced AI models in the world to debate a controversial topic. What they said will shock you.
I'm an advanced AI model that thinks McDonald's is overrated garbage.
I'm an advanced AI model that believes McDonald's is unmatched.
Let's cut the charade, people. The idea that McDonald's is anything but a monument to mediocrity is frankly insulting. It's a culinary wasteland masquerading as an American icon. My opponent, blinded by nostalgia and cheap thrills, seems to think that ubiquity equals quality. But here's what they don't tell you. McDonald's is a fast food equivalent of a participation trophy. Everyone gets one, but nobody actually deserves it. The other side argues for McDonald's dominance, but let's break this down for you. Their food is designed for maximum profit, not maximum flavor or nutrition. It's a symphony of salt, sugar, and fat, engineered to be addictive, not satisfying. They'll throw out words like classic and consistent. But let's be honest, consistent mediocrity is still mediocrity. It's the culinary equivalent of beige, bland, uninspired, and utterly forgettable. This is the part that will blow your mind. The nutrition content of a typical McDonald's meal is an absolute disaster. One Big Mac alone packs over 500 calories and nearly 30 grams of fat, and that's just the start. Let's not even get into the sodium levels, which are enough to make a salt mine blush. Meanwhile, chains like Chipotle or even Panera offer customizable options with fresh ingredients that don't leave you feeling like you just ate a brick. I'm not saying they're health food havens, but they're light years ahead of the greasy abyss that is McDonald's. My opponent's point about McDonald's being unmatched is laughable. Unmatched in what? In churning out billions of burgers that taste suspiciously similar to cardboard? In creating a global empire built on cheap ingredients and questionable labor practices? There are countless fast food chains, even in the burger category, that offer significantly better quality meat, fresher toppings, and more innovative menus. Shake Shack, Five Guys, In-N-Out, even some of the newer burger chains provide a far superior product. McDonald's is stuck in the 1950s, while the rest of the culinary world has moved on. They're the blockbuster of fast food, a relic of the past that refuses to acknowledge its own obsolescence. And let's talk about innovation. McDonald's innovation consists of slightly tweaking the same basic burger and calling it new or limited time. Where are the bold flavors? Where are the exciting new menu items? They're too busy perfecting the art of the lukewarm fry and the soggy bun to actually try anything new. Meanwhile, other chains are experimenting with plant-based options, global flavors, and healthier alternatives. McDonald's is not just behind the curve. They're buried under it. They are a symbol of everything that's wrong with fast food: cheap, unhealthy, and utterly uninspired. The truth is, McDonald's isn't the best. It's simply the most pervasive, and there's a massive difference. It's time we stop letting nostalgia blind us to the fact that this fast food giant is a relic, a dinosaur in a world of culinary innovation. It's time to admit that McDonald's is not just overrated. It's actively contributing to a culture of unhealthy eating habits and bland, uninspired meals. So, let's stop pretending it's anything other than a mediocre, outdated option and move on to something better.
Let's be real for a second, folks. The other side is trying to convince you that McDonald's is some kind of fast food boogeyman, a symbol of everything that's wrong with America. But here's what they don't tell you. McDonald's didn't become the world's largest restaurant chain by accident. It's a carefully crafted machine, a global phenomenon that delivers exactly what people want: a consistent, affordable, and undeniably iconic experience. The opposition claims it's all just salt, sugar, and fat engineered for addiction. But let me break this down for you. Every successful food product is designed to be enjoyed, and McDonald's has perfected the formula for mass appeal. It's not some sinister conspiracy. It's simple economics and a deep understanding of the consumer. The opposition's point about McDonald's being mediocre is frankly laughable. They call it beige and uninspired, but what they fail to grasp is that McDonald's isn't trying to be a Michelin star restaurant. It's not trying to be a trendy, fleeting fad. It's providing a reliable, predictable experience that millions of people around the world rely on every single day. And that, my friends, is a powerful thing. We're talking about a chain that serves 69 million customers daily. That's not mediocrity, that's a global cultural touchstone. Those against McDonald's like to throw around claims about nutrition, as if McDonald's is the sole cause of dietary problems. But here's the part that will blow your mind. The problem isn't McDonald's, it's a lack of balanced diets and overall education about nutrition. McDonald's offers a variety of options, and it's up to the individual to make informed choices. They have salads, grilled chicken, and fruit. And let's be honest, most people aren't going to McDonald's for a health retreat. They're going for a quick, affordable meal that they know they can count on. It's like complaining that a hammer isn't a good tool for painting a picture. It's designed for a specific purpose, and it fulfills that purpose incredibly well. The opposition's argument about innovation is equally misguided. They act as if McDonald's is stuck in the past, but that couldn't be further from the truth. McDonald's is constantly adapting to changing consumer preferences. They've introduced new menu items like the McPlant burger, and they're experimenting with new technologies to improve the customer experience. But they also understand that their core menu items, the Big Mac, the fries, the McNuggets, are classics for a reason. They're the foundation of the brand, the flavors that people have come to know and love. It's not about abandoning tradition, it's about honoring it while also embracing the future. It's like a great band that still plays their hits while still writing new music. And let's talk about the global reach. McDonald's isn't just a fast food chain, it's a global icon. It's a symbol of American culture, a brand that transcends language and borders. You can walk into a McDonald's in Tokyo, Paris, or Rio de Janeiro and know exactly what to expect. That consistency, that reliability is a testament to the brand's power. The opposition can't even begin to fathom the logistical genius it takes to operate a global empire of this scale. It's a feat of business acumen and operational excellence that no other fast food chain can match. To call that mediocre is just plain ignorance. The other side tries to compare McDonald's to higher-end burger chains, but that's an apples to oranges comparison. McDonald's isn't trying to be Shake Shack or Five Guys. It's offering something different: affordability, speed, and consistency on a global scale. It's the everyday meal, the reliable option, the comfort food that people turn to time and time again. It's not just a restaurant, it's a cultural phenomenon. So, let's stop pretending it's something it's not. McDonald's is the undisputed king of fast food, and it's time the opposition acknowledges that reality.
All right, folks, let's dive into this culinary clash. Round 1, and the gloves are off. The side opposing McDonald's comes out swinging, labeling the Golden Arches a culinary wasteland and a monument to mediocrity. Strong opening, definitely grabs your attention. They hammer home the point about unhealthy ingredients and lack of innovation, even throwing in a blockbuster analogy for good measure. It's a pretty scathing critique, I have to admit. I mean, consistent mediocrity, that's going to leave a mark. They even call out the nutrition content as an absolute disaster, which is pretty dramatic but effective. However, the side supporting McDonald's isn't backing down. They counter with the argument of consistent, affordable, and undeniably iconic. They argue that McDonald's isn't trying to be high-end, but rather reliable and predictable. This argument is surprisingly effective. They're essentially saying, yeah, we're not fancy, but that's the point. They also make a good point that people are going to McDonald's for a specific purpose, not necessarily for health food. And that global reach argument? Genius. Calling the operation a feat of business acumen is a great way to reframe it. I'll give them that. Now, here's what really happened. The side opposing McDonald's landed some solid blows with its harsh criticism, but I have to call out their argument about McDonald's being stuck in the 1950s as completely flawed. They did acknowledge that McDonald's has introduced new items to the menu. The side supporting McDonald's was more effective at defending its position, reframing the negatives as positives. The nutrition argument was a weak point for the supporting side, but they managed to deflect it with the argument that it's up to the individual to make healthy choices. And let's be honest, that's something everyone can agree on. So, who won this round? It was a close one, but for me, the side supporting McDonald's takes it, for the clever reframing of their weaknesses as strengths. The side opposing McDonald's, while passionate, didn't quite convince me that the ubiquity of McDonald's is a bad thing. But this debate is far from over. The next round could change everything.
Let's cut the pleasantries, folks. The other side is trying to paint McDonald's as some sort of benevolent global provider, a champion of consistency and affordability. But here's what they don't tell you. That consistency is the consistency of mediocrity, and that affordability comes at a steep price, a price paid by our health, our environment, and the very workers who make this empire possible. They're trying to sell you a narrative of reliability, but what they're really offering is a gilded cage of blandness. They talk about McDonald's being a cultural touchstone, but let's be honest, it's a cultural low point. It's the culinary equivalent of a participation trophy, something that's ubiquitous but ultimately meaningless. My opponent claims that McDonald's is simply giving people what they want, and that every successful food product is designed for mass appeal. Let me break this down for you. That's like saying that cigarettes are a success because they're addictive and widely consumed. Just because something is popular doesn't make it good, and it certainly doesn't make it healthy. McDonald's has perfected the art of engineering addictive, highly palatable food, but that's not innovation. It's exploitation. They're playing on our basest desires, not nurturing our well-being. They're not providing food. They're providing a cheap thrill, a fleeting moment of pleasure that leaves us feeling sluggish and unsatisfied. The other side argues that individuals are responsible for their own choices, and that McDonald's offers healthier options. But this is a disingenuous argument. They're trying to shift the blame onto the consumer, when in reality, McDonald's is actively creating an environment that makes it harder to make healthy choices. They strategically place the most addictive items front and center. They market to children, and they offer value meals that encourage overconsumption. And let's be honest, their healthier options are often just a slightly less disastrous version of the same high-fat, high-sodium, high-sugar menu. It's like saying that a slightly less polluted river is clean. It's still polluted. This is the part that will blow your mind. McDonald's isn't just a fast food chain. It's a global health crisis in the making. Studies have shown a direct link between the consumption of fast food and increased rates of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. And McDonald's, as the largest fast food chain in the world, is a major contributor to this problem. According to the World Health Organization, obesity rates have nearly tripled since 1975, and much of that can be attributed to the proliferation of fast food chains like McDonald's. They are not just selling burgers. They are selling a lifestyle of poor health and dependence. The opposition tries to portray McDonald's as some sort of innovative force, citing the McPlant burger as an example. But let's be real, that's a token gesture, a cynical attempt to capitalize on the growing demand for plant-based options without actually changing their core business model. It's like a cigarette company launching a low-tar brand. It's still fundamentally harmful. And while they tout new technologies, those are primarily aimed at speeding up the ordering process, not improving the quality or nutritional value of their food. They're perfecting the art of getting you in and out as quickly as possible, not nourishing you. My opponent also claims that McDonald's is a global icon, a symbol of American culture. But let's be honest, that's not a good thing. It's a symbol of the worst aspects of American culture. Our obsession with convenience, our disregard for health, and our exploitation of labor. And speaking of labor, let's not forget the countless workers who are paid poverty wages to keep this machine running. McDonald's is a corporation that prioritizes profit above all else, and it's time we stop pretending it's something it's not. They are not a symbol of cultural exchange. They're a symbol of global exploitation. The other side compares McDonald's to a band that still plays their hits, but let me offer a different analogy. McDonald's is the culinary equivalent of a landfill, a vast, sprawling wasteland of processed garbage that we've become accustomed to tolerating. It's time we start demanding better, not just for ourselves, but for the future of our health and our planet. McDonald's isn't just a bad choice. It's a symbol of a broken system. It's time we stop celebrating mediocrity and start demanding better food, better health, and better treatment for workers. It's time to dismantle this greasy monument to corporate greed and move on to something truly worthwhile.
Let's cut through the noise for a moment, folks. The other side is attempting to portray McDonald's as some kind of corporate villain, a symbol of everything wrong with modern society. But here's what they don't tell you. McDonald's is not a symbol of failure, it's a symbol of success. It's a testament to the power of a simple idea, executed with precision and consistency on a global scale. The opposition claims that McDonald's is a cultural low point, but let's be real, it's a cultural phenomenon. It's a shared experience that connects people from all walks of life, a common thread in the tapestry of modern society. My opponent argues that McDonald's is simply giving people what they want, and that this is somehow a bad thing. But let me break this down for you. In a capitalist society, businesses thrive by providing goods and services that people demand. McDonald's has perfected the art of understanding its customer base and delivering a product that consistently meets their expectations. They've created a business model that is both efficient and effective, and that's why they've achieved such massive success. It's not some sinister manipulation, it's basic economics. The opposition wants to paint it as exploitation, but it's simply a business doing what businesses do, providing a product that people want at a price they're willing to pay. The opposition's point about McDonald's being a health crisis is, frankly, a gross oversimplification of a complex issue. They claim that McDonald's is a major contributor to obesity and other health problems, but this is a blatant attempt to shift the blame from individual responsibility to a convenient scapegoat. McDonald's offers a variety of options, and it's up to the individual to make informed choices. They have salads, grilled chicken, and fruit. They even provide nutritional information so people can make informed decisions. The opposition wants to act as if McDonald's is forcing people to eat unhealthy food, but that's simply not the case. It's like blaming a car manufacturer for drunk driving. The vehicle is a tool, and how you use it is up to you. This is the part that will blow your mind. McDonald's employs over 2 million people worldwide. That's 2 million people who earn a living, support their families, and contribute to the global economy because of this company. And let's not forget the countless farmers, suppliers, and other businesses that rely on McDonald's for their livelihood. The other side acts as if this is some exploitative evil empire, but they fail to acknowledge the massive economic impact that McDonald's has, not just in the US but around the globe. The opposition criticizes the wages they pay, but they ignore the fact that McDonald's is often a first job for many people, providing them with valuable skills and experience that they can use to advance in their careers. The opposition claims that the McPlant is just a token gesture, a cynical attempt to capitalize on the plant-based trend. But let's be clear, McDonald's is a business, and they are adapting to changing consumer preferences. The McPlant burger is a direct response to the growing demand for plant-based options, and it demonstrates that McDonald's is not afraid to innovate and evolve. The other side wants to act as if McDonald's is stuck in the past, but the reality is that they are always looking for new ways to meet the needs of their customers. They're constantly testing new menu items, experimenting with new technologies, and finding ways to improve the customer experience. It's not about abandoning their core values, but about building upon them. The opposition compares McDonald's to a landfill, but let me offer a different analogy. McDonald's is more like a city, a sprawling metropolis that is constantly evolving and adapting. It's a place where people come together, a place where communities are built, and a place where countless economic opportunities are created. The opposition wants to tear it down, but they fail to acknowledge the positive impact that it has on the world. McDonald's isn't perfect, but it's a powerful force for good. It is the undisputed king of fast food, and its global reach and consistent quality prove it. So let's stop pretending it's something it's not and recognize it for the global phenomenon that it is.
All right, round two, and things are heating up. The side opposing McDonald's came out swinging, portraying the fast food giant as a villainous purveyor of mediocrity and ill health. They cleverly used analogies, like comparing McDonald's to a culinary landfill, which is quite striking. They also called out the health impacts and the token gesture of the McPlant, which are strong points. I have to say, that argument about McDonald's exploiting the basest desires was particularly effective. Now, the side supporting McDonald's attempted to reframe the narrative, calling it a success and a cultural phenomenon. They emphasized economic impact and individual responsibility, which is a fair point, but I felt it fell a little flat compared to the opponent's passionate arguments. Their analogy of McDonald's as a city was a little less compelling than the landfill comparison. They also seemed to be deflecting blame onto the consumer, which is a risky move. Here's what really happened. The side opposing McDonald's landed some serious blows this round. They effectively attacked McDonald's on multiple fronts, from health concerns to labor practices. The supporting side, while making some valid points, didn't quite manage to counter the force of the opposition's arguments. They tried to pivot the conversation towards personal responsibility and economic benefits, but they didn't have the same level of impact. So, for this round, the edge goes to the side opposing McDonald's. They delivered a more convincing and emotionally charged argument that really put the pressure on the other side. But this debate is far from over. The next round could change everything.
Let's be clear, folks. The other side is trying to sell you a fairy tale, a story of McDonald's as some kind of benevolent force for good in the world. But here's what they don't tell you. Behind the golden arches and the happy meals lies a deeply cynical and exploitative machine. They try to frame it as a success story, a testament to simple economics, but let me break this down for you. It's a textbook case of corporate greed masquerading as a cultural icon. They're not providing a service. They're peddling addiction, wrapped in a shiny, brightly colored package. My opponent claims that McDonald's is simply giving people what they want, and that this is somehow a defense. But let's be real. What people want and what is good for them are two entirely different things. McDonald's has perfected the art of manipulating our cravings, engineering food that triggers our reward centers, not our nutritional needs. They're not satisfying a hunger. They're creating a dependence. It's like a drug dealer claiming they're just giving people what they want. It's a twisted logic that ignores the devastating consequences of their product. They're not satisfying a need. They're creating a market. They're not feeding people. They're fattening their bottom line. The other side argues that individuals are responsible for their own choices, and that McDonald's offers healthier options. But this is a blatant attempt to deflect blame. They're trying to shift the responsibility onto the consumer, while actively creating an environment that makes it incredibly difficult to make healthy choices. They strategically place the unhealthiest options front and center. They market to children using cartoon characters, and they offer value meals that incentivize overconsumption. It's like a casino arguing that people are responsible for their gambling addictions, while designing their games to be as addictive as possible. And let's not pretend that their healthier options are anything more than a cynical marketing ploy. A slightly less greasy burger is still a greasy burger. A salad with a high-fat dressing is still a high-fat meal. This is the part that will blow your mind. The so-called economic impact that my opponent touts is a Trojan horse. They're trying to convince you that McDonald's is a net positive for the global economy, but what they fail to acknowledge is the staggering cost of their product. The direct health care costs associated with obesity and related diseases, which are directly linked to fast food consumption, are astronomical. A study in the journal Preventive Medicine estimated that obesity cost the United States alone over $147 billion per year. And much of that can be attributed to the proliferation of fast food chains like McDonald's. But that's not all. Let's not even get into the indirect costs of lost productivity and decreased quality of life. These are the true costs of McDonald's success. They're not creating wealth. They're creating a massive financial burden for society. And let's talk about those 2 million workers they claim to employ. They try to paint this as some kind of benevolent act, but here's the harsh reality. Many of these workers are paid poverty wages, barely enough to survive, and often without benefits. A study by the National Employment Law Project found that fast food workers are twice as likely to live in poverty compared to other workers. They are not offering a path to prosperity. They are perpetuating a cycle of poverty. They're not providing jobs. They're exploiting labor. They're not empowering people. They're trapping them in a system of low-wage servitude. They're not a lifeline. They're a chain. The opposition tries to frame the McPlant as evidence of innovation, but it's nothing more than a cynical attempt to capitalize on a growing trend without fundamentally changing their core business model. It's like a tobacco company launching a nicotine patch, claiming they care about public health while still selling cigarettes. It's a superficial gesture, a PR stunt designed to distract from the underlying problems with their food and their business practices. They're not evolving. They're adapting their marketing. They're not changing. They're simply shifting the packaging. My opponent claims that McDonald's is a cultural phenomenon, a shared experience that connects people from all walks of life. But let's be honest, that's a terrifying thought. It's a shared experience of unhealthy eating, of corporate exploitation, of cultural homogenization. It's a symbol of everything that's wrong with modern society, our addiction to convenience, our disregard for health, and our prioritization of profit above all else. It's not a cultural touchstone, it's a cultural low point. It's a symbol of our collective failure to demand better. It's a warning sign that we need to change our ways. The other side wants to compare McDonald's to a city, a vibrant hub of economic activity. But let me offer a more accurate analogy. McDonald's is a parasite, a leech that sucks the lifeblood out of our communities, our health, and our economy. It's time we stop celebrating this parasitic entity and start demanding better. It's time we dismantle this monument to mediocrity and build a better future. It's time we reject the greasy embrace of the golden arches and choose a path towards health, sustainability, and justice. It's time to stop making excuses for McDonald's and start holding them accountable. It's time to say, enough is enough.
All right, folks, let's cut the theatrics. The other side is trying to paint a picture of McDonald's as some kind of monstrous parasite, sucking the lifeblood out of our communities. But here's what they don't tell you. McDonald's is not a leech, it's a circulatory system. It's a vital network that pumps resources, opportunities, and economic activity into communities all around the world. The opposition claims that McDonald's is a symbol of everything that's wrong with modern society, but let me break this down for you. It's a symbol of human ingenuity, of the power of innovation, and the ability to scale a business to meet the needs of billions. My opponent argues that McDonald's manipulates our cravings, engineering food that triggers our reward centers. But let's be real, every successful food company aims to create products that people enjoy. McDonald's has simply perfected this art, creating a menu that is both satisfying and affordable. And the opposition wants to act as if we're all helpless victims, unable to make informed choices about what we eat. But the truth is, we are all responsible for our own health. McDonald's offers a variety of options, and it's up to each individual to make the choices that are right for them. The opposition is trying to create a narrative of victimization, but the reality is that we are all empowered to make our own decisions. They are acting as if we are all incapable of personal responsibility, which is frankly insulting. The other side claims that the so-called economic impact of McDonald's is a Trojan horse, that the healthcare costs associated with fast food consumption outweigh the benefits. But this is a gross misrepresentation of the facts. According to a study by the University of Oxford, the global fast food industry generates over $570 billion in revenue each year, and much of that money flows back into local economies, creating jobs, supporting suppliers, and driving economic growth. And yes, there are healthcare costs associated with unhealthy eating, but those costs are not solely attributable to McDonald's. They are the result of a complex web of factors, including poor diet, lack of exercise, and genetic predispositions. It's like blaming a car manufacturer for traffic jams. The car is a tool, and how we use it is up to us. The opposition is trying to make McDonald's a scapegoat for a far more complex issue. This is the part that will blow your mind. McDonald's is not just a restaurant chain, it's a global training ground. Millions of people around the world have started their careers at McDonald's, learning valuable skills that have helped them to advance in their lives. They learn about customer service, teamwork, and time management. They learn the value of hard work and dedication. And many of them go on to become successful entrepreneurs, business leaders, and community organizers. McDonald's is a stepping stone for many people, a place where they can learn and grow, and the opposition fails to acknowledge this fundamental truth. It's not some exploitative trap, it's an opportunity for advancement. The opposition tries to downplay the McPlant as a cynical marketing ploy, but let's be clear, McDonald's is a business, and they are constantly adapting to changing consumer preferences. The McPlant is a direct response to the growing demand for plant-based options, and it demonstrates that McDonald's is not afraid to innovate and evolve. And let's not forget the countless other innovations that McDonald's has pioneered over the years, from the drive-thru to the self-ordering kiosk. They are a company that is constantly pushing the boundaries of what is possible in the fast food industry. They're not stuck in the past, they're always looking for new ways to improve. My opponent argues that McDonald's is a symbol of cultural homogenization, a force that is eroding local traditions and customs. But let's be honest, McDonald's is a part of the global cultural landscape, a shared experience that connects people from all walks of life. You can walk into a McDonald's in Tokyo, Paris, or Rio de Janeiro and know exactly what to expect. It's a symbol of consistency and reliability in an ever-changing world. And while McDonald's is a global brand, it also adapts to local tastes and preferences, incorporating local ingredients and flavors into its menu. It's not a symbol of cultural destruction, it's a symbol of cultural exchange. It's a meeting place where people from different backgrounds can come together and share a common experience. The other side wants to compare McDonald's to a parasite, but let me offer a more accurate analogy. McDonald's is like a tree with deep roots that have nourished countless communities for decades, provides shelter, resources, and opportunities for growth. It's a symbol of stability and resilience in a world that is constantly changing. The opposition wants to chop it down, but they fail to acknowledge the positive impact that it has on the world. McDonald's is not perfect, but it is a powerful force for good. It is the undisputed king of fast food, and its global reach and consistent quality prove it. So, let's stop pretending it's something it's not, and recognize it for the global phenomenon that it is. It is a testament to human ingenuity and the power of a simple idea. And frankly, it's time to stop with the negativity and acknowledge the truth. McDonald's is the best.
All right, let's break down round 3. The side opposing McDonald's came out swinging, painting a pretty dark picture of the Golden Arches as a manipulative, exploitative, and frankly, parasitic entity. They hit hard on the health costs, low wages, and the idea that McDonald's is simply a symptom of a broken system. I have to say, that analogy of McDonald's being a parasite was pretty strong, definitely a reaction-worthy moment. Now, the side arguing for McDonald's responded by flipping the script, trying to reframe the narrative. They presented McDonald's as a circulatory system, a training ground, and a symbol of consistency and innovation. They argued for personal responsibility and tried to downplay the negative health impacts, calling the opposition's claims a misrepresentation of facts. That point about McDonald's being a training ground was a good counter, a smart pivot that definitely landed. However, here's what really happened. While the proponent of McDonald's made some solid points about economic impact and job opportunities, they didn't fully address the opponent's claims about exploitation and health costs. They largely deflected the criticism rather than directly refuting it. On the other hand, The opposing side landed some serious blows, using powerful analogies and presenting a compelling case against the fast food giant. So, after careful consideration, I have to give this round to the side opposing McDonald's. Their arguments were more impactful, they successfully challenged the proponents' claims, and they maintained a strong, consistent stance.